Critical hit Punch All Nazis takes place in the early days of World War II and combines high adventure with cosmic horror. All dates, locations, and historical events are thrown out the window in order to create a fun story, so don't put too much thought into historical inaccuracies. All accents are done poorly, but with love, and no disrespect is intended. Last time
on Critical Hit.
On Critical Hit.
You have been ordered to the White House in Washington, D.C., and you're supposed to make it there by the next day. Rob, why don't you give me a driving test, a D2 driving test, to see if you guys make it on time or if you are late. Whatever
coordination
that is.
of vehicles, I'm assuming.
Coordination and vehicles, yeah.
That's 16.
You have zero momentum.
Yeah, I'm just seeing, most 75% of my talents are driving based, so I need to double check the. It's a D2, so that doesn't help. It's on the roads, so off-road doesn't help. And I'm assuming drive all night is not irrelevant here, because that just lets me use vehicles instead of resilience for driving forever. Okay, so just me being pretty good at this, then.
I think you should be okay.
Did you just say that drive all night, the skill, is not useful if you're going to literally drive all night?
So drive all night lets me replace resilience with vehicles for a fatigue check for driving all night.
That's just bad flavor text. If you cannot
no, because technically,
drive all night.
Technically, I should have him do a fatigue check every 3 hours, but we're not going to do that.
Well,
every 3.
Yeah, I think it is 3 or 4 hours. Yeah.
Well, this guy's hopped up on goofball and sandwiches. It's fine.
Yeah, basically, any time that we have to do the fatigue checks, if we're in the process of driving something, I get to use my best skills instead of my worst.
Hey, 2 successes.
Aw. No extra momentum.
Nope, sorry. Wow. It is early morning, 7 o'clock a.m., February 1st, 1940, and you are pulling up to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. You pull up to the gate. Some soldiers come out. They look you up and down, ask for your names, and then usher you into a parking area where they have you all get out. They pat you down and find all of your weapons and take all of your weapons from you. And then they usher you into a lobby area, a foyer of the White House, one of the 32 different foyers the White House in 1940. Mm-hmm. And then you see 4 military men that you've never seen before come up to each of you, and they escort you away into some private rooms, all individual private rooms. You are all separated. So we're going to get into a situation here where there is player knowledge and there is character knowledge. So please do not confuse the two. But let's start with Doc.
Okay.
The man sits you down and he asks you to recount everything that has happened while you were in Kentucky. After you left Dunwich and you went to Kentucky, he asked you to recount everything that happened there. The question for you, Doc, is, are you telling them everything? And if not, what are you not telling them that happened? And again, these are military people, so these are your people.
Right. It's not someone that we know, but they're uniformed officers.
They are debriefing you.
Well, I feel character knowledge, Doc is going to tell them things. Player knowledge, Doc is going to give them the broad strokes And only when pressed is he going to give like specific detailed information.
Is there anything that you are not telling them?
I don't think I'm going to mention the mystery vis-a-vis the disappearance of the FBI agents, just that there were FBI agents present. They attempted to arrest us, blah, 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 fish cakes. And we're here. Probably not going to mention my absolute clear belief that they have resurrected our dead colleague, but that's just
That's a belief, right? That's not a.
Well, and it's also part of my longstanding policy on not mentioning resurrections because of the unpleasantness. It wasn't a fire axe; it was a hatchet. And you have to get through the sternum somehow. But yeah, no, not going to mention that specifically.
Okay.
But
you have no concrete proof whether that is resurrection of Clyde or not.
Since when has Nicolaus Holias required concrete proof to believe anything?
Okay. Let's go to Valentino. Same thing.
Yeah.
Is there? You can either tell them everything that's happened, or you can withhold information.
Well, a lot's happened. Try to give them like the broad beats, but yeah, I think I'll not mention Clyde and how he may or may not be resurrected by, or Missy's mystical capabilities.
Psychokinesis.
Yeah. For the sake of their well-being, I will fail to mention that, but just largely, go over the little broad strokes. Been arrested, then were questioned by FBI agents who we then had been working with. I also will not mention about their apparent hooking up.
Oh, okay.
I'll keep that under my hat as well. Their disappearance, our various attempts to try to locate them.
Okay. So you do mention the FBI, missing FBI agents. Okay.
Do mention those, and all the various adventures that we went on, then trying to find them without any luck. Going to mention that, we had some suspicion that they may have been in the mountain when it blew up, but we were not able to locate or, exfiltrate them before that happened. But we have no hard proof.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And also, the sheriff there may or may not be an alien.
Oh, all right. Sheriff may be an alien. Blisco.
Yes.
Do you tell everything to the military guys that are debriefing you, or do you intentionally withhold information?
Are these military guys part of our contingent?
I mean, they're United States military, and you're at the White House.
Yes, but have they explicitly been said that they are part of the contingent of the weird stuff that we are?
They have not.
What is their mythos for?
Then I will tell stuff that is not weird.
You can tell that they are all lieutenants in the military, and they are here to debrief you.
Yeah. Then I will avoid any of the stuff that will make us look like we're crazy.
And define crazy stuff.
Keep in mind, aren't we on a mission to find magical artifacts?
We are on a mission to prevent the Nazis from finding the stuff they want.
Items that they may believe.
Items they believe are magical artifacts. But not necessarily are actually magical artifacts.
So give me an example of crazy stuff again.
Missy.
Okay.
I'm looking at Pokemon stuff on my table. The wrong name came up. Missy, their entire family, mostly like Clyde being there, just the fact that the guy who the big guy whose name escapes me at the moment,
Frederick, or are you talking about the
Kingpin?
Luminary? Oh, Kingpin.
Yeah.
Underhill.
You don't mention anything about him?
I don't mention that he implied he was very old. to the
Okay.
point of not being realistic.
Okay.
Oh, I definitely mentioned.
I'll mention the aliens and that we found out that they weren't real.
Okay.
Like I'll explicitly go into detail about what they were doing, and
Yeah, the counterfeiting stuff.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, go into detail about that, and probably go over exuberantly into detail about the mechanical aspect of how they were moving everything around and whatnot. You know, typical Blisco things of focus in on the special interest and wait until they stop me.
Okay. Brian, you said you did tell them everything about Underhill?
Yeah, I would definitely mention Underhill.
Okay. All right. Dutch.
Huh.
Do you tell the military guys that are of a higher rank than you everything that happened in Kentucky, or do you withhold information? And if you withhold information, what information are you withholding?
I like that you specifically brought up they're a higher rank than me.
Yeah.
Because I think that would have the opposite effect on Dutch that it would to most people.
Well, I mean, you're privates, so I doubt that they would have privates debrief other privates.
Sure. Dutch is going to tell them pretty much everything. He will leave out the stuff about Fight and his family. Although he will say that he went to see them. But Dutch is pretty much going to go chronologically starting in 1555.
Okay.
Or like 1549. A group of wizards get together to stop another wizard.
Okay.
You know,
they seem familiar with that story.
Okay, that's interesting. And then I'll introduce Underhill back in the 1550s, and then I'll talk about where they got dispersed, blah 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 blah. Anyway, at some point we come across a Shoggoth, and blah, 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 and I'll basically tell them the whole thing, largely to see how they react, and he will do full on actual descriptions of the full on bonkers stuff that we saw, then our plane was attacked by some sort of flying gremlin, and then a lady opened a portal into the Dreamlands, and this weird eel monster came out. Completely straight again, except trying to protect Clyde's family.
Roll an observation and insight, please. Yeah. D1.
A success and a complication.
Two successes and a complication. Okay.
Yeah.
So the success is you can tell that as you're telling the whole story, they seem to just be checking off things on a list. It's only when you get to the stuff in Kentucky does the person who's interviewing you write very rapidly and is trying to get all of the information that you're sharing down on to the paper. Let's see. Everybody can roll me. So it concludes, and they leave the room. Everyone can roll me a... what's a liar check?
Well, probably
you're trying
persuasion.
To convince them. Yeah, persuasion plus will plus persuasion.
Okay.
This will be a D2.
0 successes.
0 successes. Matthew, 1 success.
No, you did it backwards, Rodrigo.
I did it backwards. 2 successes.
2 successes for Rodrigo.
Wait, could I have used my charm?
Sure.
4 successes.
Bang. 2 successes.
Dang. Blisco is a good liar.
It's less about the lying and more about the getting focused and honed in on one thing that doesn't matter.
That was snake eyes for the people at home.
Yeah.
Okay. Dutch, your complication is they know you're not telling them everything.
Right.
And when the guy leaves the room, you are all left in your individual rooms for a while. About an hour or so goes by, and you're all sitting in your individual rooms. And finally, the doors open and all four of the military men come in. They thank you and they ask you to follow them. And you follow them through the White House, and the White House is very nice for 1940. I mean, there's no internet or anything.
Right.
And they lead you into the Oval Office. And the Oval Office is empty when you first enter, and the four men again thank you for your time, and they exit. And you are all now together in the Oval Office. It is empty.
We gotta meet the president.
Sure.
Possibly.
Maybe he's the vice president.
That or
This is the office, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, or they really punched up their interrogation rooms.
About 10 minutes passed, and the one of the doors to the Oval Office opens, and in comes Doolittle. He's chomping on a cigar.
Oh.
Good morning, boys.
A salute.
Morning, Sarge.
Oh, I'm not a sergeant. He points to the star on his uniform. I'm a general now.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, General, sir.
Oh, no, don't think I should be the ones thanking you. It's because of all your work and because I'm in charge of you that they promoted me. Brigadier General.
Wow.
Fancy.
Now, providing you guys didn't hold anything back during your debrief, things should go real smooth.
Great.
I think I covered it all.
Good. And then from behind all of you, you hear, well, that's mighty good news, boys. And you turn around and there's General Eisenhower standing there.
General, sir.
Salute.
Yep. Stand up, salute.
Yep, he salutes you all. At ease, sit down, make yourselves comfortable. And he just kind of continues to stand behind one of the couches in the Oval Office. He seems somewhat distracted. Occasionally, you'll see him look over at something, reach his hand out like he's taking something, and then reach his hand back out like he's handing something off to somebody.
Is he real or is he some kind of projection?
Yeah, it would be rude to wave our arms through his astral projection.
I mean,
yes.
If you guys want to find out.
There's two things you never do. You don't super the president, and you don't wave your arms through his hologram.
Another few. Are you guys want to say anything while you're waiting there with General Doolittle and General Eisenhower?
No, I'll just wait till they say something else.
Yeah.
Doolittle opens up a manila folder that he has, and he starts to read something. Looks to be many sheets of paper.
Okay.
A few more minutes go by, about 5 more minutes go by, and the Oval Office door opens up again, and there is a youngish girl walks in. She's escorted by a military person as well. She has black hair. She's a little short. She looks to be kind of not overly well dressed, but she looks like she is someone who does a lot of field work. Not the kind of field work that you're familiar with, Blisco, but somebody who's out and about and gets into things. You recognize her as one of the 3 people that was introduced to you in Arkham by Sally Armitage. Her name is Chloe. And she sees the 4 of you, and she just kind of stops and rolls her eyes for a moment. And then she goes, ugh, you guys, I should have known. And then she goes and she kind of sits down and she kind of slumps back in one of the couches, just sits back, kind of has her arms crossed and her legs crossed. She doesn't seem overly excited to be here, and she seems even less excited to be here with the 4 of you.
Classy.
It sounds like her problem.
So she was one of the ones that ran off after the Shoggoth.
Mm-hmm.
So everything go all right with the Shoggoth there?
Did everything go all right with the Shoggoth there? We wouldn't be here if it didn't. And she just kind of stares at you like, with this like big eye stare, like, I can't believe you asked that stupid of a question, is her reaction.
Well, there was 4 of you, and I only see 1 right now.
Mhm.
That's because everyone else is busy with busy things, important things.
As opposed to a summons from the president?
Yeah, I guess, whatever. And then at that moment, the door opens and a man in a suit walks in and he says, "Gentlemen, ladies, the President of the United States."
Stand.
Everybody stands. Good. Very good. And Franklin Delano Roosevelt is wheeled into the room on a wheelchair. The generals are all saluting.
Yep. Salute.
Yeah.
Yep. And he is wheeled in by his wife, Eleanor Roosevelt. At ease, gentlemen. At ease. Thank you. Thank you for being here on such short notice. He kind of wheels up in front of the presidential desk, and he's kind of at the head of this U-shaped collection of couches in the Oval Office. And he says, "General Eisenhower." And Eisenhower looks at him and says, "Mr. President, and you must be the Fighting Gobblers. I've heard many good things from about you. Maybe some not so good things about you as well." And then Chloe kind of looks at you, Blisco, and she goes, "I didn't say anything." Yeah, that's fine. I've read the reports, and I've got your latest report right here. Should be very interesting for you, young Chloe. Yes, Mr. President. I'm very interested in finding out what these boys had to share. Good. The Kentucky trip went well. And it looks like you found another one of these artifacts.
Yes, sir.
Good. I'm very concerned about the stories that I've heard about your adventures. Gods from other planes, monsters infiltrating our world. I thought it was bad enough that we had the Nazis. And now we have to deal with whatever this is. He kind of tosses a bunch of papers and photographs and everything onto the coffee table in the middle of the circle there that you're all at. And you can see that sure enough, there are field reports that you guys have filed, both with Section M and with previously Sergeant Doolittle.
Mhm.
You can see photographs of Shoggoths. You can actually see a photograph of Chloe, Sally, and I forget the other two's names at the moment. But you can see a photograph of them kind of all posed in front of a dead Shoggoth. You can see pictures of the Whitmores and Mr. Underhill. And you can also see pictures of what looks like some kind of is it a werewolf? It's a very hairy man running through the Kentucky hillside. You also see pictures of dead Nazis. You see pictures of a dead, what looks like a Mothman. You see pictures of people's hands with sores on them.
Oh.
He seems to know everything. I mean, he is the president after all.
Right.
Sure.
Well, yeah, I think that in light of recent events, I think we need to, and by we, I mean the United States, needs to step it up and be more involved in this so-called secret war. And so today, and again, there's nobody else in the room except for the two generals, the 4 of you, Chloe, the president's secretary, and Eleanor Roosevelt. Today I'm forming a top secret organization that will not appear on any books. As far as anyone is concerned, you are still members of the military, the army, but your base of operations will not be listed and will be under the highest classification. As of today, I am going to be forming a new organization that we are going to call Majestic. If the Brits want to call themselves Section M, we can go a step further and call ourselves Majestic. And the secretary, the man in the suit, is just writing notes and everything. He goes, "That's beautiful, sir." "No, it's Majestic." I need a cigarette. And Eleanor gets out a cigarette case and puts it in one of those cigarette holders.
Holders.
Mhm.
Yeah. And he lights it and he's smoking it for a few minutes. I should stop smoking these, but things in the world are pretty stressful, and this keeps the stress down. Now, where was I? Oh, Majestic. In the last couple of days, we have received a large influx of money from the IRS. Mr. Arbogast, I believe we have you to thank for that.
Oh, great.
And
No
we will
problem.
be using these funds to fund this organization. We will locate Majestic in an out-of-the-way place. Are there any suggestions from anyone in the room? If you'll excuse me, sir, since I'm going to be in charge of this organization, the cat's out of the bag. Yes, thank you. Go ahead, General. Oh, sorry, Mr. President. I was thinking maybe Montauk, New York. Yes, Montauk. Yes, perfect location. Out of the way, place where we can keep an eye on it. Not easily accessible. Very good idea, General. Make it so. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Any objections from anyone else? Eisenhower's just kind of standing there, just kind of taking everything in.
No, Montauk is nice.
Good. Young Miss Chloe. Yes, Mr. President? I'm afraid, these boys here haven't been fully honest in some of the things that were going on in Kentucky, and I'm afraid that, your area of expertise is probably called for down in Barlow, at least. You see, boys, and he looks at everyone in the room, and including Chloe. I think he means boys as everyone.
Yeah.
Younger than him.
It's like Crash and the Boys.
Yeah. Section M kind of has us at a disadvantage in that they have been dealing with this secret war for longer than we have, and when it comes to the magic side, they are far, far ahead of us. But as you probably know from your trip to Kentucky, I think we've got something that gives us an advantage in this secret war. And if I'm not mistaken, Miss Chloe, that's your area of expertise at Miskatonic University. Yes, I'm a paranormal researcher. That's my big background. Yes, I dabble in some of the mystic arts as well. But yes, extrasensory perception is what we call it, Mr. President. Good. I want you to go down to Kentucky and investigate this phenomena and see if you can bring some of those people with these extraordinary abilities to move things with their mind. And he looks at you, Blisco, like you don't know what extrasensory perception is. And I want you to recruit them into Majestic as well. I can do my best, Mr. President. Sometimes the hill folk can be a little cantankerous. Yes, I've read they like to shoot people on sight down there. Meanwhile, the rest of your group, again pointing to Chloe, they've been dispatched to other assignments for Majestic. Doolittle has been promoted, if you did not know. He will be heading up Majestic and will be your primary liaison with Section M. General Eisenhower is going to go to England. The Germans are amassing on the border, and they are about to cross and invade France. And at that moment, General Eisenhower kind of goes, Mr. President, sir, I'm already in Europe. Oh, right. I forgot. And you hear, who's closest to the president, do you think? Who's sitting the closest to the president?
Definitely Blisco.
Okay. Blisco, you hear the president. You hear the president mutter under his breath, "Son of a bitch is the greatest wizard in the world. He's going to be president someday. I just know it."
Nod along, like clearly agreeing.
He kind of looks at you for a moment and, which one of you is Valentino?
It'd be me, sir.
Ah, yes. Your friends, Antoine and Pontus is his name?
Yes.
They've been moved to Section M headquarters in Clemens Park in Kent, England.
Wow.
This is where our European contingent will be headquartered until we can establish our own base.
Sounds good.
All right. No, anything else on my agenda for today? And the secretary leans over and whispers something into his ear. Oh, yes, I almost forgot. Eleanor, if you would. And she locks his wheelchair into place, and very slowly, FDR is able to stand up. If you boys will come up here, please. And Eleanor walks over to the desk and comes back with 4 little boxes.
All right.
Carlos Dutch Arbogast, please come forward.
Step forward.
You are hereby promoted to sergeant in the U.S. Army.
Oh, thank you. I'll salute. Take my, I'm guessing, some sort of insignia.
Yeah, it's a little pin.
Okay.
Nathaniel Valentino Braxton, come forward.
Yes, sir.
You are hereby promoted to sergeant in the United States Army.
Thank you, sir.
Good. Nicholas Doc Helias, step forward, please.
Yes, sir.
He looks at you for a moment. You are promoted to the rank of sergeant in the U.S. Army.
Thank you, sir.
And finally, Blisco. He has a little hard time pronouncing your last name. Come forward, please.
Take a step forward.
Do they really call you Bug Eater, son?
You know the nickname of the state I'm from is Bug Eaters, right?
Ah, yes, I campaigned there very well. Anyway, Blisco Latach, you are hereby promoted to sergeant in the U.S. Army. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You have your orders. You need to finish gathering the rest of these artifacts. It'd be best if we had the artifacts, but what happens once we gather all of the artifacts? Whether it's us or Section M or a joint task force, what is the point?
Well, the idea is that there is a interdimensional place where the Key of Solomon is, and these items will open a door to it.
Okay, that makes sense now. That makes complete sense. That's where they've been hiding this Key of Solomon scroll that's supposed to control something called a Yog-Sothoth.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is that we would go there before the Nazis can go there and destroy it.
Destroy it. It's supposed to control this creature of immense powers, correct?
Yes.
Kind of pauses for a moment, kind of looks off into the distance. Maybe that's something that we should have in our control. Very powerful weapon indeed. And then at the mention of that, Eisenhower's like, excuse me, sir, this is not a simple bomb. This is a weapon of incredible destruction. Mass destruction would be befallen on everyone. I think that the sergeants here have it right in needing to destroy it and keeping Yog-Sothoth out of the hands of the Nazis or any power. Anybody in the world who has this kind of power should really reconsider using something of immense destruction. And Roosevelt is like, oh, right. Yeah, that's clear. Don't let Truman hear you talking that way. But yes, that does make a lot of sense. All right, so destroy the King of Solomon, save the world. Let's give these Nazis a good what for.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anything else, Jenkins? The secretary just shakes his head. No, sir. Very well. I've got work to do, gentlemen. And the secretary walks over to the Oval Office door and opens it up. And
file out.
Yeah, waits for you to all file out. He closes the door behind him. You're all, except for Eisenhower. Eisenhower, you guys turn around expecting him to be following you out. He's gone.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting him to follow us out. It's the greatest wizard the world's ever known. Going to be the president someday.
General Doolittle leans over to you and he goes, Bug Eater, I want to tell you one thing.
Yes, sir.
Outside of the Oval Office, outside of Majestic headquarters, I don't want you ever saying anything within earshot of anyone else that mentions General Eisenhower's powers. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
He may be a secret weapon in this war that we have not even thought about yet. And if everyone else knew his power and capabilities, he would be a big target on the map of the Nazis or the Italians or even in Spain's. And he does say Spain's.
Right.
So keep your mouth shut about that. And you too, Missy. Chloe just looks like, throws her hands up in like, what? Like, I wasn't, why am I in, she doesn't say it, but you can tell by her gestures, like, why am I being drug into this conversation?
Why am I in trouble?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the six of you are standing in the hallway now, outside the Oval Office.
All right. So do we need to do anything in Montauk, or are we just moving on to our next?
Well, you tell me, son, where is the next artifact located and where are you headed?
All of the ones we know of right now are in Europe.
Okay, so you're headed back to Europe. Might be a good idea to just go right to Section M at the stately, at the stately manor of Clemens Park. Mm-hmm. There you will meet not only where Eisenhower is going to be meeting, but you will also meet our civilian leader of Majestic.
Okay.
But from there, where do you think you're going to be headed next? I need constant updates from you guys. We can't go 2-3 days with you guys lollygagging about in Kentucky eating chicken fried whatevers they have down there.
Sure.
Everything. It was delicious.
So one item is in Holland, one item is in Romania, one is in Germany, and one is in Russia.
Plain sight.
No, the Russia one is not the plain sight. That's the one you acquire from fight.
The one in plain sight is in the Black Forest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you hear Chloe say, "Ooh, Romania." I've read Bram Stoker.
Yeah.
Yep. And given what we've seen so far, I'm starting to worry about it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And she just kind of laughs. Gentlemen, walk with me. Lady, walk with me.
Okay.
And he starts walking you guys through the White House.
So,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna start asking, what is this like? What is the status right now of the Netherlands or Holland?
It's still an independent country.
Mm-hmm.
It has not been invaded by Germany yet.
Okay. What time of year is it now?
It's February of 1940.
So winter.
Oh, that might be a good enough reason to put off going to Russia.
Napoleon didn't think so, and look what happened to him.
Yeah. I'm sorry, February of 1940, is that what you said?
Yep. Chloe kind of says, "Hey, can I ask you guys something? I know you weren't wanting to talk too much about the Whitmore family in your reports, even though you did say you were going to Kentucky to meet with the Whitmores and talk about Theodore. What can I expect when I deal with them?"
Well, fellow Majestic operative,
and she gives you a wink, like, "Yeah, let's keep that under our hat."
Yeah.
You shot at, I feel.
Okay,
there's a few
getting
things.
shot at. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a few things going on. They are very concerned about tax collectors taking their land. So you could get shot at. Also, if you saw our report, then you saw that we recovered that tablet.
Yes.
So they have a piece of that tablet, which seems to give whoever wears it, or I guess they had a piece of that tablet, and that's why I guess we have the piece now. Hang on a second.
Yeah, the brigadier of Section M has it.
Right. So yeah, never mind then. But at least one of them shows some form of psychic ability.
Mm-hmm.
And
just one of them?
We've only seen one of them.
That's the girl, the young girl.
That's the girl. Mm-hmm.
How old is she?
16, I want to say.
16. That's usually these manifest earlier and are gone by the time they're 17 or 18. So if she's still were her powers strong?
Pretty strong, like maybe 3 or 4 snakes strong.
And you say her brother also had the same powers?
I don't know if he did, but we are pretty sure that her brother, who was introduced to us as our former friend's brother, is in fact just him, and he has somehow either returned to life or never fully died or something.
So he's an undead?
I don't know. I don't know how to best qualify it.
Well, I mean, you followed all the procedures in identifying ghouls, correct?
No.
Okay. She makes she's kind of scratching on a notepad. Let Maddie know about undead possibility in America. Okay.
I mean, he didn't seem dangerous.
Okay. All right. Fine. Great.
Oh, and lastly, there were rumors of a UFO. I guess they probably weren't called UFOs yet. There are rumors of aliens and spacemen in the area. We uncovered something that was, I guess, like using those rumors to its defense. It was just a money laundering operation from.
Right. Yeah.
But
I've read the IRS report.
We did experience things that, in retrospect, those guys shouldn't have been able to do. So,
such as?
We were all kind of mesmerized, and then the 2 FBI agents, or were they IRS agents? They were FBI. The 2 FBI agents that we were with disappeared, and we were never able to find them again.
Okay, so missing FBI agents. Have you told people about this?
Yeah, I put it in my report.
Okay, all right.
Oh, and watch out for the sheriff. He's a jerk.
I find most police officers are.
Yeah, but this one is a particularly big jerk with no one else around to check him.
Okay. The General Doolittle is listening to all of this with great interest. We're just going to refer to him as General because technically he's a brigadier general. That's a 1-star general in the U.S. military. Okay. But because you already have a brigadier in Section M, we're just going to refer to him as General.
Sure.
And the other guy is the brigadier.
Okay.
So
We could just call him the Brig.
no, probably not, unless you want to visit the brig.
I mean, do I?
No.
I feel like
It's funny that it's good that they that we're Majestic now, because I was thinking, and I guess we were the Fighting Gobblers for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were fighting the goblins.
Yeah. I thought I was thinking about it because we've been asked a couple of times, like, who are you guys? And I was like, I was thinking we should call ourselves the Leavenworth Four because that's how we ended up here.
Heading. Yeah.
That's where we're probably heading afterwards. So
yeah.
We'll just tack that to the legend somewhere.
Okay. The general is like, just as we were talking about General Eisenhower and his, and he looks around, unique abilities, Majestic is top secret.
Mhm.
Not a word to anyone. You understand?
But Section M is in on it, right?
Oh, yes. They know that we are forming our own group.
Okay.
But I mean, just don't go around blabbing to everyone. I'm part of some secret organization, blah, blah, blah. Hey, cute girl, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Do we have any sort of official cover?
Yes. That will be forthcoming when you arrive in Kent. You will need to talk to our civilian representative there.
Yes, sir.
In regards to the tablet, that's a hefty piece of stone. I'm surprised you were all able to get that up out of the mine. It is already on a plane headed to Kent, and we'll meet you there.
Okay.
As far as the other artifact, and he looks at you, Valentino, that you should make sure it never leaves your possession. You should always have it on hand.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did the Secret Service or whatever take it from him?
They only took your weapons.
Only weapons, okay.
Including Prototype X1.
Prototype X.
Yep.
The bug zapper.
Yep.
That's funny. Love that.
Okay. Well, I guess before we go, we should discuss where our next destination is, and that way Kent knows it and can start making arrangements if they're going to do it.
Okay. By this time, he has led you down into like a sub-basement level of the White House, into a room.
Mm-hmm.
And so you guys are free to talk here.
Okay. Do you guys have any thoughts about which place to go?
I feel like it's too cold for Russia.
Okay.
I feel like Denmark may be the easiest.
Holland, I think you mean.
Holland. The north one.
Yeah.
And then if my geography is correct, and it absolutely isn't, returning to Romania would also mean being in Central Europe again with the possibility of walking into enemy territory. I feel like the logical place to go first is a place that we don't expect to immediately be shot at by enemies and or frozen to death.
Do we know what the status of Romania is?
Let's see. By this time, I do not think. When did the Nazis invade Romania? October of 1940. October of 1940.
So about nowish.
About 6 months.
Or no,
from
we're
now.
early
it's
1940.
like
Never mind.
Yeah. Okay, so neither Holland nor Romania have been invaded. And they're both very close to Germany. So I'd say they're probably about a similar thing, except it might be easier to go from Romania to Russia if we have to go there directly. And by easier, I mean like harder, and thus make it harder for the Nazis to track us.
So do we agree that Russia should probably be
Yeah,
final
let's.
destination.
It's
Well, if not the final one, then at the very least.
So is it currently? It's January, right?
It's
Yeah.
February.
February?
Today.
Okay.
Mhm.
So 8 months from now is the invasion. Okay.
Well, I mean, you guys don't know that, but
Yeah, we don't know that.
Right.
I mean,
You had said 6
if we-
months, and then my timeline got screwed up because we said October.
Mhm.
Right. And if we
And I'm
go
like,
to the
but it's
Netherlands, they'll
April,
probably
we
be
should just
invading
go.
in 4 months.
as players, or as our characters don't know that, but as players, I would be perfectly happy to be like, our characters unwittingly are heading towards the invasion of Romania.
Right.
So, like, from a narrative standpoint, I would be okay with that. I'm not like trying to like protect my character and be like, no, don't kill him, the Nazis.
Was Holland was invaded too, wasn't it?
I
Yeah,
think
but
so.
not until May. Holland at this point is still neutral. But I don't remember when. I think it is 1940.
Yeah,
Because
1940.
Case.
Yeah, no, 1940 is the year that
all hell
everything
breaks
kind of Germany kind of explodes all over the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge bombing in Rotterdam, and then all.
So, a couple of other things just for historical purposes, so you know. Do you know in Russia where you need to go in Russia?
They say it's in Petersburg, right?
Okay. Less than 500 kilometers away from St. Petersburg, maybe even less than 400 kilometers away from St. Petersburg, is a little city called Helsinki.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Finland is aligned with Germany, but not part of the Axis powers.
Right.
But,
Yeah,
going from Helsinki into St. Petersburg is probably not
difficult.
A hard route. But also, you're right. I probably wouldn't go just yet.
Yeah. I mean, no matter where we go in Europe, we're a stone's throw away from the Axis.
Oh, yeah. You are a stone's throw away from running into a horde of Nazis.
Yeah.
So is it Holland is where you're going?
We can go to Holland or we can go to Romania. We don't have a lot of info on either, so we need to lean on our researchers for a bit, see if they can get us closer. Right, there's like all we know about one's hidden on a ship. That's in Holland. And one to control elements is in Romania, but I don't know that we have more information than that, unless Underhill said something else that I didn't write down.
Nope.
A ship in Holland. So how many major shipping ports might there be in Holland?
Well, the Dutch, did have basically control of all shipping. Not all, but most of the shipping in the 1500s.
So 5,
6,000.
Which is the oldest?
I don't know. Guys, we'll have to do some investigating.
Yeah, we'll do some research. We also don't know that just because it's hidden on the ship, that doesn't mean that it's going to be where you would normally find a ship.
Yeah.
Yes, but if we start looking for ships where we don't look for ships, we should do it after we've looked for ships where you do look for ships.
That's fair.
It's always in the last place you look.
Right.
Because that's the place you found it. Why would you look more after you find it?
Okay. I'm not hearing no's on Holland, so maybe let's hit.
Oh
yes.
Do we have an idea as to which way Germany is pushing next? Because I feel like that's the
they're amassing on the you know that they were amassing on the border between Germany and France,
right?
And everyone's freaked out that is the next place, and I believe historically France is the next place that Germany invades after Poland.
Of
Amazingly,
our 3 possibilities, which one is likely to be overrun by Nazis first? Because I feel like that's the one we should hit earlier to preempt them at the very least.
Okay. All right. So Holland is in the northern part of Western Europe. Well, I guess not if you count Norway and Sweden and Finland, obviously, but it's like north of like France and Germany, right?
Yeah, it's up by Belgium.
Yeah, so that that like if the Nazis succeed in taking France, then Holland's going to be sandwiched between two Nazi strongholds, right? So if that's the idea, and I think it's a good idea, Blisco, then we should go to Holland because there's a chance that since Romania is literally in the opposite direction, it'll take him a while to gear up the war machine.
Mm-hmm. There are other things that they would have to invade in between.
Yeah,
Germany and Holland.
No, that was a good point. I guess we should probably consider that.
Good. We'll send word to Section M and to our U.S. liaison and start getting some paperwork together.
Sounds good. We'll leave for England as soon as
You've
possible.
got 12 hours.
All right.
That's when the next flight leaves.
Okay.
And he kind of escorts you out the room, and you realize you're walking under a tunnel, a very long tunnel.
No.
And then you all walk up some steps, and he stops at the bottom of the steps. He goes, "This is where we're going to part. I will talk to you once I get settled in Montauk. Good luck, gentlemen." And lady, and he leaves the five of you standing across away from Pennsylvania Avenue in a park.
Mm-hmm. Good to know. Okay. Do you guys want to do anything while Blisco sleeps in the car?
Maybe we should all get a room and crash.
Oh, I'm not getting a room with you.
Oh, no.
Oh, are you taking off along with us? I thought you were going to Kentucky.
I'm going to Kentucky. But
Okay.
I've got 12 hours before my flight leaves.
Oh, okay. And you want to hang out?
No. I'll see you later. And she turns around and walks away.
Okay.
I'm thinking of Norway, guys.
No, charming.
Holland borders on Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so
that's what we were saying. Is like if they take France,
misunderstanding. Yeah, I'm like they would have to go through.
It'll be like sandwiched between two Axis powers. Yeah.
Right. That's bad. Okay, never mind. I'm now on track.
Yeah.
My brain was thinking.
Yeah, I just
and geography is bad.
I just straight up pulled up a map. Dutch is a lot smarter than I am, and probably a lot better with like maps and directions, which he would have to be. So, okay. We could get a room and crash. That's probably the best idea because I don't know how well we're going to sleep from here on out. So we know we have 12 hours. We know where the airport is. So, yep, let's go get some like 10 hours of sleep.
Yep.
Okay. As you approach the sidewalk and hail a cab, you hear, "Oh, gentlemen, it's you. I cannot believe it's you." And it's a very familiar voice, and you turn around, and there is a young boy from India running up towards you.
Oh. Sanjay?
Yes, it's good to see you again. I'm glad you're still alive. I had a bet with Dr. Smith that you would all be dead by now. Dr. Smith, I owe you money. And sure enough, here comes Dr. Smith walking up. "Oh, hello, gentlemen. It's good to see you."
Did he transform into academic?
Yes, he is well dressed. He's got a bow tie. He's got glasses on, tweed suit. And he's shaking all of your hands.
Yeah.
Good to see you. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
What have you been up to?
We're still chasing down weird artifacts.
Yeah, us too. Interesting thing. Remember the crystal skull? And he uses kind of, I don't know if when air quotes were invented, but he uses air quotes. Maybe this is the first instance of air quotes ever being used.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember the crystal skull?
Yes.
Yeah.
Turns out, and he looks around and leans into you guys, it wasn't crystal at all. It was some kind of a shell This thing was like an egg.
And you said was. Is it still an egg?
Oh no, it's been cracked open.
Okay.
It's the military was very interested in it when they made this discovery, and as you can tell, and he looks at, he shows off his duds and gives a little twirl, and Sanjay also is very well dressed and gives a little twirl. We've been paid very handsomely, and we are now, and he kind of leans in, working as consultants for the U.S. government.
Oh, great. Congratulations.
We're on easy street, that's for sure.
We are no longer in for a court martial as far as I'm concerned, so it's looking up for all of us.
Good. Good. I am heading off to do some research for a government organization that I can't talk about.
Oh.
And it's going to be good times, right, Sanjay? I don't like America that much, so I'm hoping we can do some field work very soon. Oh, I'm sure we will, Sanjay. I'm sure we will. And at that moment, the cab that you were hailing pulls up, and Dr. Smith just grabs the door and opens it up, and Sanjay hops in. He goes, "Have a great trip, gentlemen." And he gets in and he closes the door, and the cab drives off.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
We should really figure out some sort of secret signal or code phrase or something.
For what?
Just so that we can be
technically
sure.
Technically, we don't know if he's working for us.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
I see.
we should have.
Well, first we should ascertain who is working for us, and then we teach him the code. But you start working on the handshake.
Okay.
We'll try to hail another cab.
Another cab pulls up, gets in. Where are you boys heading to?
Middle of the road, inn and suites, please.
All right. And he flips up a little flag and drives you in. So what are you doing in the big city of Washington, D.C.? Here for the sights, there's the Washington Monument right over there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Jefferson Memorial? It's right over there.
Wow, they're all so close to each other.
I know. And then pretty soon you pull up the middle of the road inn and breakfast or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be 25 cents, please.
I'll pay him.
25 cents?
Yep.
Oh,
well, no, I'll tip him. I'll tip him. I'll pay him a whole 50 cents.
Ooh. Oh, look at you, a big tipper.
Yeah, listen, sorry. Don't got any change.
If you need another cab, don't call me. And he slams the door and speeds off.
All right. I don't know. How much is it customary to tip on a dime?
I don't know. He probably expects more. Who knows?
People these days. Can you believe it? The 1940s. All right. Go in and get a room or 2 rooms, whatever's easiest for.
Oh, hello.
Oh, no.
Welcome to the middle of the road, breakfast and inn. How may I help you, gentlemen?
He's got a big family.
I like the idea that there is a deep corruption that affects the whole world in this universe, and also that all hotel attendants are some sort of Muppet.
Yes, very well, sir. And he gives you a key and gives you a place to go sleep for 12 hours, and you all sleep, and you wake up and you make it to the airport. It is late evening, and this is not a military transport that you are getting on. This is a passenger plane, and it's a very nice passenger plane, and it's very comfortable. You could lean back into it, and after a few moments of everyone getting in and settled on board, the stewardesses come around and make sure your seatbelts are all buckled, and the plane then taxis down the runway and takes off with the setting sun behind it. Critical Hit Punch All Nazis is a production of Major Spoilers Entertainment and was produced and edited by me, Steven Schleicher. If you would like to get a behind-the-scenes making of this episode, be sure to check out the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Each week I discuss my plans for the upcoming game session, and Dr. Brad Will is there to share his reactions and advice on how to be a better game master. I will warn you, though, there are spoilers galore in every installment of the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition. So, if you don't like spoilers and don't want to know what I am planning next, don't listen to these episodes. Though, I will say, if you do listen, you'll be able to see how and where the players throw a wrench into my plans, and you're also going to have greater insight into the world that's being built into this campaign. Finally, we want you to record yourself doing your best on Critical Hit and send it to us at podcast@majorspoilers.com, and your voice will join the growing chorus of fans in upcoming episodes as well. Thank you again for listening this week, and here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2024 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.